market that, and for me too, and I talk about it now, always being willing to pivot business, right? Like,
Absolutely. Holy cow. I mean,
you
like
know,
pandemic, like, I mean,
yeah,
that who knew? I mean, who knew what was about to happen, especially
yeah,
Columbus? I, I mean, those moments I was asked, I had to do a video for our brokerage and it kind of brought me back to that like 2020, the spring of 2020 where we're all just sitting there like, what are we even going to do? And the
yeah,
fact that one, we were deemed essential is by no accident.
yeah,
I mean, Columbus Realtors, Core Pack, all that. Like, it is not an accident that we were able to do this.
right,
But how crazy, that was my best year on paper. And
yeah,
I was like, what is happening here? But clearly people were spending a lot of time in their dwellings and they weren't happy.
yeah,
So things needed to change. But
yeah,
I just think part of what I really like about real estate, even when it's those unknown moments, like what we're talking about, like we're totally out of control of them, the economy is driving them. It's what keeps us on our toes. It's what you have to stay educated. You have to stay, curious and like finding out like big picture, like what are the trends? What's happening? I mean, my husband watches Squawk Box in the morning, and I used to be like, I'm not watching this, and now I'm like, who's on Squawk Box today? Because it does help. I mean, it's trends that, we need to follow those things to help our clients understand, what might be on the horizon. Not that
yeah,
no one has that crystal ball, obviously, but yeah, somebody said to me, they were like, oh yeah, you were like running into the fire when people were running out. And I'm like, yeah, it's all I know. Like that's when I jumped in. My real estate classes were totally full, so I wasn't the only one doing it.
yeah,
But it's so weird how now I really can't picture myself doing something else. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I think, we talk about moments, and the reality is somebody is trusting us with like a huge part of their life, and they might only do it a few times in their lifetime.
hmm,
So, I try to not lose sight of that when we get, mired down into the details that are frustrating on a particular deal or whatever. But it's a big opportunity for us to help somebody at some sort of critical moment in their life. And I just
yeah.
try not to forget that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so important. I think, it's just human nature. Sometimes we lose that sense of it, but it's good to have, resets, right? Hey, let's
Totally.
let's let's refocus on some of the stuff and what's really important to our clients. So no,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So I want to kind of fast forward, look into
Okay.
the future for you.
Okay.
Um, what's something that you want to accomplish over the next 12 months? Personal, business, doesn't matter to me. Do you have any year goal?
Hmm. I mean, yes, I don't know if I like have them so succinct, but I mean, business wise, I always try to do a little bit more than I did the year before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This year, I'm trying to have a few more transactions. Last year, I was really fortunate that I had a higher price point on many of my deals. So
Mhm.
I had a large volume, but not quite as many transactions. So I don't know, the transactional goal is usually more of what I look at, not the
Yeah.
dollar amount.
Same. Same.
And so I just really want to, I don't know. I've always said I wanted to hit 50 transactions or 20 million. I don't know if I care so much that it's 50. I'd be fine if it was 40, but just somewhere in that range. Um, and then, well, personal, I don't know. I'm really kind of stretching myself with my own podcast. So I'm trying to just stay consistent with that. But I just, I look at, so I have two kids and they're not getting any younger. So I'm hoping this summer, if I play the front half of this year right, I hope this summer I can, really be present with them, because that's the
Yeah.
time that I have with them, is the
Yeah.
summer. And I've got one kid who's, well, both of them are going to be doing golf, but I think I'm going to have to put my caddy
And you might, and yeah, I was gonna say you might become a professional caddy, right? Like
professional caddy. Yeah.
you can get some
Um,
practice.
yeah, but I mean, let's be real. I mean, I enjoy the time when I'm not working, and I want to have that
Yeah.
time too. I think, be it it's like, just going on vacation and being with my friends or family, or
Yeah.
just doing another pillar of things. It could be service, could be working out, tennis, whatever. Those pieces kind of keep me all in balance.
Yeah.
Harmony. I know there's not really balance, but
Wow.
harmony.
I
Yeah.
think this is the moment when I tell you that you won't hit 50 deals. So now you have to go and prove me wrong.
I know. I don't know. It's really funny though because, well, maybe. I mean, I just feel like, I mean, every year my husband, like, when it comes to like November and December, and I'm really kind of putting all of that stuff on paper, he's always like, "You always say every year it's going to be so hard to do it again," and I'm like, "But it is. Like, there's no given, you
Yeah.
know." And so, I think my thing this year is doing it. Having that goal, having that number, like just like in swimming, it's that time,
Yeah.
but not focusing on that number every step of the way. It's
Right.
like those little things that we're talking about. It's the consistency, it's the showing up, being present when you're there,
Yeah.
doing that every day. I do believe it will help my number be higher.
Trust. Yeah. I mean, loving the process is
Yeah.
one component of it, but then you have to trust the process.
Yes, that's right.
And that's the hardest part, right? Because
Yeah.
like you mentioned, delayed gratification, that is our career, right? That is our business. It's I'm going to do this activity, or I'm going to do this event, or I'm going to do this handwritten note card, and I don't even know what the outcome's going to be. I hope that it's going to turn into business down the road, but I
Yeah.
don't know. But then I have to show up and do it again. And I have to
Right.
show up and do it again, and then again and again. So, and I think
Well,
too, I think it's doing it your way too, right? And
totally. Well, that's the thing is like last year, I did try to make some, commitments to relationships and not truly not worrying so much about the transaction,
yeah,
and just growing those relationships. And in that way, you're growing your sphere organically in the way that feels comfortable for me.
yeah,
That has started to end up in business for me.
yeah,
But fundamentally, it is not why I'm doing it. Like, it's not what I get
right,
joy out of. I mean, I think I've shared with you before, like, I'm not a big resolution person, but I do like the word, like a word to focus on for an intention for the year. And
yeah,
last year, it was purpose for me because I just felt like whatever I was doing, I wanted that to be for a reason, and it did help me. I think filter things out that maybe were distractions and then also remind like, okay, this is actually something you need to do. So make that a priority. It really helped me. And this year for me, it's like it's impact. I feel like impact and fulfillment to me are sort of like not interchangeable, but like with
sure,
impact, I do feel like I gain fulfillment. And so I'm trying to do that with whoever I'm around. And if that results eventually in a real estate sale, that's awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay. Like that's not really
yeah,
the place where it's coming from. And so I think the more that I push myself into those environments to meet new people, to foster those new relationships, to empower people around me, to motivate people around me, to kind of celebrate their business and their journey, I get inspired by that. I get inspired by other people and their journeys. So
yeah.
that's the space I'm in for 22.
It's there's a book called The Power of Consistency. I forget the author's name, but he talks about you can't do the right things consistently and get the wrong results.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a matter of time, right? Like building relationships, and that is. I was talking to Ryan Moody the other day, and he's like, my first goal with anyone I meet is to become friends. And if real estate happens, then real estate happens. And he means that when he meets with a total stranger at a bar or a restaurant or on the street or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, let me interact, let me engage, and let's build a relationship, a friendship.
Yeah.
And at some point, real estate may come from it. And if it never does, it never does.